So that by Tuesday morning, showers and a few thunderstorms are likely once again, with some of that rain being on the heavy side. As we head through lunchtime, widespread showers, a couple of heavy downpours here through Tuesday at noon. And then as the system begins to pull away, well, the lift in the atmosphere begins to fall apart, and before the sun goes down on Tuesday, it may be that just about all the rain is over with and beginning to move away. So how much are we talking about? Really not a ton when it comes to tropical systems. We could have 2 to 3 inches of rain up and down the Grand Strand, maybe an isolated amount up near 4, but the farther west you go, the lower the rain totals will be. Many areas west of Interstate 95 may get less than an inch of rain, so it is a tight precipitation gradient here as we head through Monday and Tuesday. And as I mentioned, a lot of folks are in a drought, so this will be very beneficial rain for our area. Let's talk about the winds. Of course, this is Hurricane Umberto. This will likely be Hurricane Imelda by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday. Notice the highest winds are well south and east of us. The core of the tropical storm and hurricane force winds don't even reach the coast. I think as we head through Monday and especially Tuesday, we might get a wind gust up near 30 on the beaches, 15 to 25 across the PD and on the border belt. Certainly not damaging wind at all and just not a big deal. We've seen winter storms produce more wind than this thing will here in the eastern Carolinas. So don't worry about the wind whatsoever. Let's talk about the beach impacts. These will likely be the greatest impacts of all. Very good chances of rain Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll see more sunshine into Wednesday, Thursday. Rip current risk will be climbing, especially as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, thanks to that northeasterly wind at 15 to 25 and waves that are breaking at 4 to 6 feet. If you're going to be down by the ocean, you got to be real careful in the ocean, especially on Tuesday and Wednesday. These wave heights not quite as high as what we had with Aaron back in August, but still it can be dangerous. And do keep in mind that there could be some minor beach erosion, some coastal flooding at the time of high tide. That would be on the minor side though, and just an overall rough ocean as we head through this week. Things will start to settle down late in the week and certainly as we head toward the weekend as well. And a lot of folks are asking, what's the weather going to be like once this goes by? How about near perfect fall weather for us? On the backside of Imelda, it brings in drier and cooler air. We're expecting highs from Wednesday right on through this upcoming weekend, generally in the mid, maybe upper 70s and quite comfortable at night with low humidity. Temperatures in the upper 50s, even at the beaches. Across the PD and on the border belt, we're looking for high temperatures in the mid 70s through Friday, back near 80 over the weekend, but nice and comfortably cool at night. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights, we're down to the mid 50s each and every day. So, hey, count your blessings. This could have gone an entirely different way, and we could be staring at a hurricane coming ashore, but that's not going to be the case this time. It is going to move on out to sea as we get beyond Tuesday and into Wednesday and Thursday with minimal impacts around here. All right, so as I mentioned, we have a brand new meteorologist here, Rich Von Olin, and Rich is right here beside me. And Rich, I want you to introduce yourself, and if you have any questions that you've laid down to Rich, how about passing them out to us?
All right, thanks, Ed. Great to be here. And this is all great news. I'm watching the comments here on the Facebook Live, and most of you are cheering and very happy about this great escape. This is terrific to see this good news here with the models, and I'm glad to be here reporting with Ed on the good news that we're seeing. Had a couple of questions come in, Ed. Maybe you can answer these questions. Bosco had asked, how long does hurricane season go until? When is the official end of hurricane season?
So the season will go through the end of November, but it's effectively over with for us by the end of October. We've only had 3 hurricanes actually hit the United States in November, and not a single one of them has ever hit the coast of South Carolina. We've only had 4 actually hit in the month of October. So while it is possible we can get hit by a hurricane in October, the chances really go down once we get into that month. Rich?
Okay, another question came in from a few viewers. What are the chances that the models could change at this point and it does come close to the coast? Is it possible, Ed?
At this point, we don't think it is, and the reason being is we have a very well-defined center of circulation. We have a much better idea of the steering currents now, and it's really kind of locked in, especially when you see every single model basically showing the same thing. It just is almost unimaginable that it would just make a left turn and come directly at us at this point in time. That would defy physics. So I think we're in really, really good shape when you're this close. You think about it, it's Sunday afternoon. We're talking about this turn occurring as we head through Tuesday. So it's only 48 hours away, and we always have much higher confidence the closer you are to something actually happening. And we've got nothing but great model support, observations, the information from the National Hurricane Center and hurricane hunters that say it's all systems go for this to eventually go on out to sea.
Okay, more questions from Andrea. She asked, she's coming down from the north to the beach here. Good question for Tuesday. The beaches, though, Ed, even with the storm moving away, how are they going to be?
You know, the sunshine will return, especially as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, but the looks can be deceiving. You got to be careful if you're going to be down by the beaches because of the rip current risk. Waves are going to be bigger than they typically are, and the ocean could be quite rough. So come down, enjoy the beach. Nothing's going to change around here. School's in, flights should be just fine. And if you have your vacation plan to be at the beach, you'll be okay. Just be careful in the water because of especially the rip current risk, which can take lives, and we see that a lot during the hurricane season.
Okay, Becky is asking, she's in Garden City, very close, of course, right to the coast, right to the ocean there. Will there be any significant flooding there?
There could be some minor coastal flooding around the time of high tide. The good news is we're in between a new and a full moon, so we're not looking at king tides, but just the sheer push of the ocean from the motion of the system itself and the winds that are generating large waves out there. Some of that wave action will reach our coast, so tides will be a little bit higher than normal, but I don't see anything more than just some minor coastal flooding, which we typically see a lot at high time here, especially around the time of king tides.
Okay, and Monique has asked about the humidity, and I was around last week with that very high, crazy humidity. It was so sticky. Is that going to go away this weekend?
Yeah, in case you don't know, Rich is from the New York City area, and these 70-degree dew points, I don't even like them either. And we were both talking about it's just ridiculous to be this humid outside. But after Monday and Tuesday, much drier air is going to move in, and you're going to notice the humidity really drop off for the rest of the week. I mean, really beautiful fall weather coming our way for the middle and latter part of the week. Just got to get through the next 2 days with the breezy conditions and rounds of rain from time to time.
Okay, and I had one last thing, Ed. We just talked here in the Weather Center about, Imelda and how it's going to develop into a hurricane and move east. Looks like the folks in Bermuda may have quite an issue on their hands, right?
Yeah, you were mentioning that as well. Umberto, for the most part, will miss them. I mean, they might get some tropical storm force winds, but because of all these significant changes in the track of Imelda may get very, very close to Bermuda late in the week. It'll be transitioning into a non-tropical system, no longer an actual hurricane, but a post-tropical cyclone. And that's just semantics. It really has to do with the science of the storm, but the bottom line is it's still going to produce tremendous impacts and perhaps hurricane force winds toward the end of the week in Bermuda. But that track is not 100% resolved yet, so we'll see how things go as we head through this week. But I don't ever want to say we're in the clear until something actually happens, but things are looking really, really good for us.
Okay, I guess this is all great news, Ed, and we've been, of course, tracking here in the Weather Center, watching, working for you, keeping you updated, keeping you safe, and making sure that you had the latest information. It was quite an interesting night last night, waiting for Imelda to finally form into a tropical storm. But as we watch this from the outside, Ed, Umberto probably had a lot to do with the change here, right?
There is no question about that. Initially, it looked like Imelda was going to kind of leave Umberto behind and they would not be able to interact, meaning the low in the southeast U.S. could pull it right into the Carolinas. But when Imelda was slow to develop and very slow to move northward, it allowed Umberto to actually catch up. And now it will have what we call the Fujiwara effect, where they kind of tug on one another. As Umberto goes this way, it'll pull Imelda away from the immediate coast and save us from a direct hit and major impacts in our area. So again, I like to say count your blessings, because it could have gone an entirely different way here and we'd be staring at some pretty catastrophic rainfall totals and high wind. That's just not going to happen here. And before I do wrap this up, Rich, if you don't mind, just kind of give people a little bit of background on you, where you're from, your education, your experience. I think they'd love to know that.
All right, terrific. It's great to be here again in Myrtle Beach. Raised New York, Long Island area, all across there. I worked for News 12 Long Island, the cable network, for many, many years, about 25 years, as a meteorologist and executive producer. I actually managed the operations there all throughout the tri-state. And we saw our share of wicked, crazy weather across the tri-state region in New York. If you recall, Superstorm Sandy back in 2012 was just absolutely devastating. And that wasn't even a hurricane when it made landfall in New Jersey. It was just like a post-tropical system. But we learned that even without a Cat 2, Cat 3, or major hurricane landfalling, you can still get devastating effects. And we've had the remnants of storms that came right here, right through the Carolinas that came up in our region, like, for example, Isaias
Right.
back in 2020. And that was terrible. That did a lot of damage with the wind because it moved faster. We had Irene, which was technically a tropical storm back in 2011 that caused major flooding. And the last landfalling hurricane was in 1985. Hurricane Gloria is a Cat 1 across Long Island. So it's been a long, long time for the folks across the tri-state seeing a major storm like that. But, you know, sooner or later, I think it'll get us. But we've had our share of blizzards, tropical storms. I went to SUNY Albany, upstate New York, studied atmospheric science, meteorology, had my TV career right throughout most of the New York area. And then I've made my home down here in beautiful Myrtle Beach. And I'm so happy to be here working with the best team here at the Weather Authority team. And of course, Ed, terrific.
Well, we will put that check in the mail for you for sure. Real quickly, Rich, you got a wife and children, right?
Correct. Yeah, married for about 28 years. My wife, Heather, she'll be moving down here with me shortly. And 2 children, Abby and Leah, both attending graduate school at Rutgers and St. John's up in the New York area. Going to be teachers, so they're doing pretty well. And I have one pet. I have a cat. Her name is Lily.
That's awesome. Rich, thank you so much for all of your help. Welcome to the ABC 15 Weather Authority team. We're so glad to have you and know we're going to help us out a lot here for many, many years to come, that's for sure. All right, folks, good news. We'll keep you posted on Facebook. And of course, don't forget, Rich is going to be live on ABC 15 at 6 and 11 o'clock tonight with the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. So you'll want to check him out during the weekends and, of course, at 11 o'clock each night on ABC 15. I hope everyone has a great Sunday afternoon, and we will talk with you soon.